Steve, your Baltimore Ravens are now in first place in the division after starting 1-5. You say barely because that's the question. Can they keep playing football offensively like this and make some noise moving forward? That's the question. Your initial take is?
Hells no, they cannot. Right?
So.
You cannot go consecutive games where you don't throw a touchdown and you're throwing picks. That is going to get you beat deep into the playoffs and later in the season when you're playing some of these teams, right? Like, I don't care what you say. New England Patriots, they're playing pretty darn good.
Oh, yeah.
Right? The Rams, you can't play like that against the Rams. You can't play like that against
That's the best team in football right now.
You can't play that against Houdini, Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams,
Houdini.
He just keeps winning.
What's happened, Steve, is a bit of a head scratcher since Lamar Jackson's come back, and we'll go through Lamar, but the offense as a whole, and to Lamar's credit, they're winning games. He hasn't hurt them a ton, picks 2 weeks ago, but it is bizarre to see him go back-to-back games without throwing a touchdown. I think that hasn't happened since 2023, I want to say. These are things
25 starts. He hasn't had 20. Prior to this, it was 25 starts. He hasn't had anything close to this. It's crazy.
Yeah, this isn't what we're used to seeing. This offense this past Sunday booed at home, and maybe rightfully so, as they had 72 yards of total offense in the first half, 3 yards of play, 0 for 5 on third down, weren't really doing much. They've had slow starts for these first 4 games. Just, I tried to ask around to see what was going on, but like, what was your initial take when you watched this offense? I guess first as a whole, what is not clicking that we've seen click over the last couple of years?
Well, it's not necessarily not clicking. One of the things I believe, or there's several things I believe what's going on, and I think people sometimes don't really think about this. And when you have such a dynamic football player at the quarterback position like Lamar Jackson, where he's a legitimate dual threat. And I'm talking about, he can take off and run. He can act like he takes off and run and throws a dart down the field 65 yards with the flick of the wrist.
Yeah, this is like a unicorn. This is a rare player. Yes.
But I think Todd Monken has to maybe adjust a little bit. It's starting to, teams have started to figure things out. And you can disagree with me, but you now are averaging 20 points a game, under 15 for the last 5 games. That's
not the Ravens.
That is not the Ravens. I also think possibly it might be Lamar Jackson is a little bit still well, he's not 100%. So you have the hamstring, you got the knee, and you got
the ankle. This
it's
week, we're in Thanksgiving week. It's the toe, Steve, now?
Man,
that apparently?
It's so much. And I think teams are really starting to say, hey, we don't have to concern ourselves with Lamar running. So what we're going to do is we're going to load up the box to slow down Derrick Henry. And then after that, we're going to make you beat us throwing the football, Lamar. But not because they don't think Lamar Jackson can beat him. He doesn't threaten that he'll take off running, right?
It's a different
It's
task.
a different Lamar.
Yeah.
So let me show you one of the plays that I saw that was just different, right? And I want to show this play because you know darn well, old Lamar, healthy Lamar, man, he's taking off running, right? So they already have, before you pause it right there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 guys lined up on the line of scrimmage. I know the guy down here at the numbers is a DB, but he's close enough in condensed formation. It looks like a -2. So he has to count for being in the box. But then you got the linebacker, I think this Sherwood, he's creeping up. And then you got the safety who's back right there on the 40. He's already has stagger stance. So what is his body language to me is saying, man, I am coming down, or I'm coming down to alert. So it could be one robber, he could be shifting, but he is moving, because if you notice, the people who aren't moving, the legs are they're not staggered. His are. So that tells me he's going to move. Hit play. Well, won't you know, he's moving. But look at this. Stop it right there.
Look at space.
Look at all this space. Pause right there. Linebackers, no one's even fearing or thinking Lamar Jackson has the potential to run. They're dropping back saying, nope. We know he can't run. Because he's not 100%. And sometimes when you're not 100%, you got to play sometimes to get out of treatment, because sometimes treatment feels like punishment.
What do you mean?
So let's show another play of Lamar taking off running, and let me show, and then I'll break down why. So you got this one, bang. Goins get to the Chiefs. Look at this. Same thing, zone coverage, but he's about to take off. Look at this, especially a hamstring. One, hamstrings are very finicky. There are multiple ways you can do it. It's grade 1, which is slight tear. Grade 2 is pretty close. Grade 3 is, severe. That's a lot of time. But with the hammy, if you Google hamstring injuries, rehab, do you know how long you're supposed to actually rest and hamstring before you rehab?
No, I don't. I've never Googled it.
6 to 8 weeks.
It's a long time. I don't think the league's got much patience for that.
6 to 8 weeks before you start rehabbing, which rehabbing is allow to start to strengthen the muscle back up and to build up the tolerance to be able to go out there and back running. So let me break down to you in the NFL when you get rehab, and this is why it becomes like punishment. First of all, as soon as you get injured, rehab starts. Like I've been that guy where
I was about to say.
you start icing, man. Sometimes right after the game, they give you anti-inflammatories. They're checking out. They give you a sleeve to minimize the swelling from expanding, keeping that thing in, right? Then you have treatment. So treatment is prior to the team meeting. So let's just say hypothetically, you're right, we're talking about Lamar. So he has the team meeting, but he also will have his position coach meeting a little bit earlier so he can get a head start on, if it's Wednesday, the game plan or some discussions from Tuesday evening. So they get in there Wednesday morning. But before he does that, he has to get treatment. So we're talking about possibly 5 treatments in one day off that leg. We getting ice, rub down, stem, heat. If it's discolored, you're not getting too much rub down because they want to get that bad the bad blood out to flush it, right? So you start in at 5 a.m. before meetings start. Then they allow you to go have breakfast.
Oh, they allow you to? That's
then
nice.
You go have breakfast, get a quick bite, go to the meeting. You're sitting in a meeting. If you cannot practice, you're getting treatment inside. Then you go have lunch, open locker room.
They let you have lunch.
And then you come back and get treatment. Then after treatment with open locker room, they have meetings. When they have meetings, after the meetings, you're getting treatment.
Race against time, Steve. That's what it is.
You do that until you are ready to play. And a lot of times, man, sometimes, like I said, it's better to just go ahead and play through the injuries than to sit there and have all of that rehab time. Just doesn't work for me, man. I'm just like, bro, I don't want to do this.
I'll just go out there and play through.
I just go out there. I'll go out there and limp.
This is better than just being let to eat. Listen, I think you're right, because when you kind of ask around, he looks reluctant to run. He doesn't look the same when he actually does decide to move on the run. He obviously, when he's asked by the media, is not going to say anything's bothering him for a few reasons. One, most guys just don't. Two, competitive advantage. You just don't say those things, and you don't mention it. Todd Monken has said openly that he has not changed the way he's calling this offense at all. As you hinted, maybe with the things I just mentioned, he might want to a little bit because of the way Lamar has been a different player.
He has to change up things, because when you've been so successful the way Lamar Jackson and Todd Monken have been, you don't think teams are investing a whole offseason to make sure we can neutralize Lamar Jackson. So you got to throw in some new wrinkles and do some different things and change up. Because when Lamar Jackson did not have Derrick Henry, he was a problem. When Lamar Jackson got Derrick Henry, he became a bigger problem. So teams are like, hey, man, they say the rich keep just getting richer.
That happens.
So we have to slow this guy down somehow, some way. And he slowed down because of injury. But I also think we got to make some adjustments. We got to throw some different things out there, because if you don't, teams are going to have your number. And I think a little bit with teams kind of, offense kind of goes a certain direction over the course of a season. You're going to have those one or two games where you stall out. You just stale. But
totally. What I'm curious about, Steve, and want your opinion on is, there are offenses that are scheme-driven. You have like a Kyle Shanahan type of offense where the offense is this, and the quarterback gets plugged into the offense.
Yes.
And then you have an offense like Todd Monken's running, where it is specifically designed for one player's traits.
Yes, sir.
And there are not a lot of offenses built that way. There's a handful. There's some. Tua, I think, is an offense specifically built for the way he plays. Just to throw one example out there. Is it harder to break these tendencies, change up what you're doing through the course of a year with everybody studying what you do, when your offense is so specific to a player's skill set, as opposed to, say, like a Kyle Shanahan's offense, where the offense is the offense?
Well, when I say change up the system, I'm not saying an overhaul. You can't really do.
No. I mean, are tendencies, I guess, easier to see, or things like that when it's built for one player?
I'm saying line up outside of your norm, right? Line up on the plays that you rarely use in the game. Because when you go, a lot of offense coordinators go on a game plan with a ton of plays. And yes, some of the plays are the exact same thing, but you can get slant flat concept out of 12 personnel, 11 personnel, put the same concept, put it in bunch, have somebody zip over, right? So you can change it up, and those are all different plays, but the play is still drag slant. I just think for the Baltimore Ravens to be able to adapt to Lamar Jackson not being able to be at full strength, because no one really is this late in the season, that they gotta throw some smoke and mirrors to get people to bite and to question themselves. Isaiah Likely, he hasn't been being featured, right? There was this time a couple of years ago where it was like, oh no, man, Isaiah Likely's taking over. He's making Mark Andrews, and then now Mark Andrews is back, but also Mark Andrews was dealing with an injury after that car accident that he just kind of kept grinding it out. So it's going to be interesting to really watch the Baltimore Ravens, what they do, because when you look at the Cleveland Browns, they're not a playoff team.
They got a good defense, though.
Huh?
They got a pretty good defense, though.
And that's what I'm saying, that defense. And you add a good defense with a better scheme, all of a sudden, man, you don't have those many opportunities.
I travel a lot. I'm always on the road, whether I'm scouting. I was just in Berlin. But here's the thing about why I feel so comfortable when I'm away from my home. Simply Safe. It's just not some gadget or a camera. Simply Safe actually can help prevent a crime happening. It's not all this fancy headquarters. They just take care of you. They have live agents actually confronting potential criminals while they are still outside of your home. Man, that's crazy. Before they break in or commit a crime. So for me, Simply Safe has come at the right time, because right now in the middle of the season, I'm everywhere. But one place that I know is safe is where Simply Safe is. 89 listeners get an exclusive early access to Simply Safe Black Friday sale, where you can save up to 60% on any new system. There will never be a better time to get real security for your home. To make sure to get your 60% off, simplysafe.com/89show. That's right, simplysafe.com/89show. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
I heard this, and I thought this was kind of an interesting one I wanted to throw by you. This is probably, at least a lot of people in Baltimore thought, the best group of skill guys as a whole that Lamar's ever played with, when you look at it in its totality. And there was a little bit of a thought, and I love that you brought up Isaiah Likely, where his role is going to increase in the passing game. That was the thought this offseason. Obviously, he breaks the bone in his foot, I think it was, right? And he ends up missing time, and that doesn't really come to fruition. They saw really, and we broke it down a lot last year, Zay Flowers, he's going to take another leap. Got to get him the football. We bring in DeAndre Hopkins. We got 3 tight ends total that we like using. Like, we have all these different mouths that we're trying to feed, and it's a difficult balance to try to do sometimes. When you have, Lamar hasn't had this many different kind of options, honestly, before in the past, and that's been an interesting part. And then the other part before we go I wanted to throw out there was the part that really is strange to me is the red zone stuff, Steve. It's not what we're used to seeing in them finishing drives. I mean, last year they were the #1 red zone offense in football, and now they're at 74%. I was looking it up. The last 3 games they're at 35%. Like, I think that's a big difference. You change that in something that you've been very good at, and this conversation is very different.
Yeah, but you're closing everything down. You're struggling out in the field, so you're going to continue to struggle out in the red zone. You don't have you don't have any consistency that makes the defense threaten themselves or makes the defense question themselves. They already know, okay, Lamar Jackson's going to be out there. Cool. Derrick Henry's back there. So 100%. I wonder who they're giving the football to, right? Yeah. You don't and it's just not working, right? So you got to just tweak some things, man. Throw a little little WD-40 on that thing, some duct tape.
Get it together.
Some pliers, and man, you can do some good things now.
I think so. I mean, look at what the defense has done over the last several weeks. They have flipped the script from what we were seeing earlier in the year. They have been playing outstanding. I'll tell you right now, Myles Garrett's on another planet right now compared to anybody else. But I think Kyle Hamilton has to be in the conversation.
Man, Kyle Hamilton's balling.
I mean, he's been unbelievable.
He just is Mr. Eraser. He makes you right.
Of every problem.
Yeah. Man, he makes you right. He covers, blitzes. He does just a lot of things. And when I say get paid, I'm talking about, man, people start actually recognizing.
Oh, what you're saying.
What kind of football player he really is.
Paid in the social consciousness is what Steve is saying. And that
stop naming all these other people and start naming number 14, Kyle Hamilton.
I know. He can play, man. But I just saying, you can't be down there as a red zone team with Super Bowl aspirations, and you're down there with Houston and New Orleans as the 3 worst teams in the NFL in terms of offensive red zone. I think Lamar's legs play a factor in that. The threat of that doesn't seem to be what we've seen in the past. But hey, they're right now. They're leading the division. Yep. I think Lamar has played well enough, hasn't hurt the team
No,
to
he
make sure
hasn't
that
hurt
they're
the
in
team.
this position. And I think he knows that he can, he's one of those guys that can manage through things like this. We'll just see how they end up doing it. But it's been an interesting turnaround. And if you told me they turned it around, Steve, and they've won 5 straight and are now 6-5, I would have told you, yeah, Lamar came back healthy and he's playing like an MVP again. That's actually not the reason why they've turned it around. But that's still possible to happen on the rest of the way out. So we'll watch and see.
Yeah.